It's funny. Sometimes the biggest, most mind-blowing stories come from the smallest, most unexpected places. And today, we're diving into exactly that. We're looking at how a single, pretty modest grave, found out in a remote corner of Sudan, is literally rewriting everything we thought we knew about an ancient kingdom. And, get this, the very environment it existed in.
I mean, just think about that for a second. Out in this huge, quiet desert that almost nobody's really studied, one person's grave, just sitting there for 4,000 years, holds the key to reshaping our history. It's just incredible. And we're not just talking about one person's life here. No, this is way bigger. This is about uncovering a whole lost world.
Okay, so let's get our bearings. The kingdom we're talking about is Kerma. They were a major Nubian powerhouse, and they thrived for a whole 1,000 years. Our story, the one from this grave, kicks off right in the middle of their reign, around 2000 BC. And just to give you some context, this wasn't some backwater kingdom. They were contemporaries of ancient Egypt's powerful Middle Kingdom. So yeah, they were a real force to be reckoned with.
All right, let's head to the scene of the crime, so to speak. We're going to the Bayuda Desert in Sudan, where this whole 4,000-year-old mystery was unearthed.
So what makes this discovery so wild is where it was found. The Bayuda Desert is, believe it or not, one of the least explored parts of Sudan. I mean, serious systematic archaeology only really got started there in this century. So a team of Polish researchers from the University of Warsaw are out there and boom, they find this grave. And it confirms that the mighty Kerma kingdom's influence reached way out into this remote, little-known area.
Okay, so now for the really cool part, the clues. This is where we put on our detective hats, because every single thing they found, from how the body was positioned to the stuff buried with him, is a vital piece of this 4,000-year-old puzzle.
First up, the man himself. He was laid on his back with his head facing east, and his legs, they were bent really sharply. Now that's not random. Archaeologists know this was a common burial custom for the early Kerma people. The grave wasn't fancy, just a shallow oval shape, probably because they had to dig it into this hard, rocky ground. Right away, you're getting a picture of their traditions and, the daily challenges they faced.
And he wasn't alone in there. They found two simple ceramic pots next to him. One was a medium-sized jug, and the other was a bowl that was placed upside down, on purpose. Now look, this isn't some pharaoh's tomb filled with gold, but for archaeologists, these simple pots are absolute treasure. So what's their story?
So they look inside the jug, and what do they find? It's this amazing mix of stuff. Charred plants, little bits of animal bone, even parts of beetles. But here's the kicker, the detail that changes everything. The jug itself wasn't burned at all. So what does that mean? It means this stuff wasn't cooked in the jug. It was scraped up from the embers of a fire, probably from a funeral feast, and then carefully, deliberately placed inside as a final offering.
Okay, that explains the jug, but that still leaves us with the other object, the bowl. Why on earth would you turn a bowl upside down in a grave? It definitely wasn't an accident. So what was going on here?
Well, there's a fascinating concept for this that archaeologists call ritual deactivation. The idea is that by intentionally breaking, or in this case flipping over an object, ancient people were symbolically killing it. They were changing it from an object for this world into an object for the next. It was a way to send it along with the deceased for them to use in the afterlife. It's a really powerful idea, right? It's about both honoring the dead and transforming the object itself.
So we've looked at the details of the burial, but now we're going to zoom way out. Because what's so incredible is that this one grave doesn't just tell us about one man's death. It tells us about his whole life, and, this is the amazing part, the entire world he lived in.
By studying the skeleton itself, scientists were able to piece together a picture of this man's life. And honestly, it sounds like it was tough. His bones show the wear and tear of a life filled with hard physical labor. The analysis shows his diet wasn't great, it was pretty restricted, and other studies even suggest he lived really close to his animals. This was not an easy life by any stretch of the imagination. But all of that leads to what is for me the most jaw-dropping discovery of all. That harsh, sandy desert we see there today, that is not the world this man lived in. Not even close. By studying the environment around the grave, scientists figured out that 4,000 years ago, this place was a grassy savanna. It had shrubs, it had trees. Can you believe it? This one burial gives us concrete proof of a massive, dramatic shift in the climate.
And this really brings us to the core of it all. The lead researcher, Dr. Henrik Painter, said it perfectly. Even a modest burial can provide valuable information when viewed from a cross-disciplinary perspective, adding to the evidence for reconstructing ancient climates and environments. And that's exactly what happened here. It took archaeologists, biologists, and environmental scientists all working together to piece the story together. They didn't just reconstruct a life, they reconstructed an entire lost world.
So it really makes you wonder, right? If one single, humble grave in a desert almost no one was looking at can tell us all of this, about a culture's beliefs, about a massive climate shift, about a person's life 4,000 years ago, just imagine what else is out there. What other lost worlds, what other incredible stories are just waiting for us, hidden right beneath the sand?